For the past few days, I've been thinking and reflecting on the release of my debut book, which, God willing, will be released on my 40th birthday, Sunday, December 4th, 2016. Inshallah, God willing. And I've just been reflecting on how I've arrived at this point in my journey, in my God-given destination. And what I've realized is that Allah or God planted this seed within me when I was a child. I've always had an affinity or concern for marriage and family life, even as a child. As a matter of fact, when I was 13 years old, I wrote a paper for my English class. I don't remember what the assignment was that was given, but I wrote a paper on broken homes and I turned it in. And after writing that paper, my English teacher encouraged me to start entering the paper that I had written into oratorical competitions. Now, I know that that particular paper on broken homes was inspired by some of the personal life experiences that we were going through within my own family. So my parents did encourage me and support me as well with the suggestion that I start entering oratorical competitions. Now, those of you who know me know that as a child, I was very, very shy, very quiet, very reserved. I did really, really well academically, but I was very, very shy and I was in my shell. So the very first time that I competed in an oratorical competition, I lost to an experienced fourth grader. Let's just say that that never happened again. um, Eventually, I entered the oratorical competition through AXO, which was sponsored by the local chapter of the NAACP, and I won first place on the city level. So that positioned me to compete with the same speech on broken homes on the state level. In preparation, one of the local members of the NAACP introduced me to Julian Bond, who most of you know is a former chairman of the NAACP and a renowned civil rights activist. So she introduced him to me so that he could assist me with preparing for public speaking. So he mentored me in public speaking. That experience was invaluable. And now everything just kind of makes sense. I see now that this interest that God planted in me to speak out about marriage and family life, coupled with being mentored in public speaking, it's all coming full circle for me at this point in my personal journey and in my life. Um, Looking back, I also realized that part of the foundation, again, to have this interest in marriage and family life, that interest was established before I even got married. My parents divorced after 26 years. So even prior to getting married, I already had an interest in becoming a marriage and family counselor. That desire was already in me because, again, based upon my personal life experiences as a child, I wanted to help families and marriages to stay together. As a matter of fact, when I met my husband and then eventually got married, I made him aware that it was my desire to eventually become a marriage and family counselor. I am so grateful to Allah that God said, before doing that, you need to get about 15 years of practical life experience being married under your belt. So, 15 years and three kids later, Allah is now allowing me to produce from my practical life experience. And this all of these experiences have brought forth Muslim marriage makeover, modeling Muhammad the Prophet to make waves in your marriage with the ripple effect, where ripple stands for respect, intimacy, partnership, peace, love, and equality. Ironically, 5 years into my marriage, I also kind of foreshadowed that I would write this book about marriage. In September, our oldest daughter turned 13, September 16th. So I was looking through old pictures on an external hard drive, and I found a document that I created in 2006. That was 5 years into our marriage. 2006, I created this document with exercises for um, husband and wife to complete. And at the end of the document, I put a PS in there to my husband. I said, please share your feedback and, be open and honest with your constructive criticism because God willing, I plan to write a book about marriage later in life. Honestly, I had completely forgotten that I had that aspiration to write a book in 2006. So fast forward 2016, 10 years later, this is later in life. And Allah is having me to write this book after 15 years of marriage. And then, based upon my experiences as a child, that first drew me into this strong interest and passion to help save marriages and families. Um, so I am deeply grateful to Allah to have put me on this journey. And my prayer is that Muslim Marriage Makeover can be a solution oriented and faith based book that will help to address some of the common issues and challenges that we see in all marriages, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of socioeconomic status, regardless of the level of spiritual education achievement. Some problems and challenges are just common to marriages. And so Muslim Marriage Makeover addresses some of those issues, and namely the treatment of women, gender stereotypes, work life balance, the distribution of household labor, and the rearing of children. So these are some of the issues that I address, and I know that these are issues that can help everybody, even though the book is called Muslim Marriage Makeover, because as I said, it is a faith-based and solution-oriented book, and I do utilize the Quran, the authentic life example of Muhammad the Prophet, and the commentary of my spiritual leader and teacher, Imam R.I.P.P.L.E Muhammad. I do use those sources to provide solutions to all of the topics that I just stated, but they're universal. The solutions are universal. The challenges are universal. I really and truly believe that a lot of times in marriages we have a good believing man, a good believing woman that are coming together, and God promises to the believers. He promises us that we'll win through. God promises that the believers will win through, but God also tells us in Scripture that do you think you can be left alone saying you believe and not be tested as those who were tested who came before you? So even when we have good believing men and women coming together, uniting in marriage, as they are trying to cultivate this beautiful garden, they're going to have some tests and challenges. They're going to have some weeds that pop up from time to time. And as my good friend April Abdul-Baki from Memphis says, we just need the right tools. And I wholeheartedly believe that the right tools in marriage are enlightenment, education, right? To confront what Imam Warthi Muhammad calls, when it comes to the treatment of women, unenlightened traditions. Confronting unenlightened traditions that can, sometimes create some weeds and some hiccups along the way. Inshallah, God willing, Muslim Marriage Makeover will be a help and a healing for current marriages and future marriages. I just pray and I hope that I can continue to do God's will. This is my passion and my purpose, my God given passion, my God given purpose. I really and truly and wholeheartedly believe this. So stay tuned for more updates, excerpts coming soon from my debut book, Muslim Marriage Makeover, Modeling Muhammad the Prophet to Make Waves in Your Marriage with a Ripple Effect, Respect, Intimacy, Partnership, Peace, Love, and Equality. And let's help each other to build this beautiful model community with strong marriages and beautiful families, inshallah, God willing. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. May the peace that only God can give be upon you.